Okay, so welcome back. So now in this video, we're actually going to do an example and you'll see how everything comes together with what I've said in the last couple of videos. Okay, so now in this example we have, it says find the cost of 10 apples if 4 apples cost $1. Okay, so we're going to follow the steps and set up the proportion and then solve it. So what are the two, we got to come up with two related data points, right? Two pairs of data points that are related. So we know it says find the cost of 10 apples, right? So we're looking for cost, right? We don't know what the cost is. So let's call that C. Okay? So we've got to have cost. And so it says we want to find the cost of 10 apples if 4 apples costs $1. So what are the two related points or two related pairs? Well, 4 apples goes with $1, right? So those two are related to each other, okay? And then the cost of 10 apples, right? So cost along with the 10 apples. So C goes with 10, 4 apples goes with $1. So let's form our two data pairs, right? So we have C, so the number of apples 10 goes with the cost of C. And we know that 4 apples goes with the cost of $1. Okay, so now let's follow the steps that we did in the last video. So I want to take one pair. Okay, so let's set up the proportion right away. Let's just set up the proportion. So we've got this equal to this, right? So I've got the top and the bottom here. I've got the numerators of here, and I've got the denominators here. So I'm going to take one pair, and I'm going to fill in the numerators. So let's do this. So 10 and C. And always fill it in the same way. Okay? If I'm putting this here and this here, then this needs to go over here, not here. Okay? So I'm going to put the 4 here and the 1 here. So what do I have? I have 10 apples, okay, over 4 apples. And I have cost as C dollars, right, over $1. Okay? Now, notice over here, apples divided by apples is going to cancel each other out. And if I cross multiply, I'm going to end up with dollars. Because I'm solving for C, right? And I want the units of C to be dollars. And so now if I cross multiply, right? So if I cross multiply, I get 1 times 10 is equal to 4 times C. Right? And if I divide both sides by 4, I get what? C equals what? 10 divided by 4. Okay? And so the cost is going to be what? It's going to equal, well, $2.50. Okay, so C is $2.50. Now, there's another way to set up a proportion. Okay, so let me show you the other way. So this is one way to do it, right? Let me show you the other way you could set this up and you'll get the exact same answer. Okay, so now, instead of using the point for 1 point for the numerators and 1 point for the denominators, we can also set it up by using 1 point for one ratio and the other point for the other ratio. And what do I mean by that? Well, let me show you. So here's my proportion I'm going to set up for direct variation. And I'm going to take this one and I'm going to fill in this ratio here. So I'm going to put 10 apples on the top, and I'm just going to fill in the units for our dimensional analysis. Okay, make sure everything works out the way we want it. And then C, dollars. Okay, so we've got apples over dollars. So for this point, and now over here we want apples over dollars too. So we're going to take this point, we're going to fill in 4 apples over $1. Now let's solve this proportion. So now here what I'm going to do is I'm going to cross multiply, and I get what? I get 10 times 1 equals 4C again. I get the exact same thing. Okay? And so I end up getting the same answer. C equals $2.50. Okay? So remember that, so that you can either set it up where you use one pair of related values as both numerators and the other pair of values as both denominators. That's one way. Or you can use one pair for one ratio, the other pair for the other ratio. Just make sure you have them both being consistent. Same units on top as you do have on the bottom. Okay? So regardless of which way you set it up. Okay? Okay, so now the next question is, how many apples can I be purchased if I have $10? Well, let's set up another ratio. Okay? Well, I have $10 and I'm trying to figure out how many apples to purchase. So I have $10. Yeah, let me do it this way. I have 8 apples with $10, right? And I have what? Again, I know I can get 4 apples with $1, right? And so now I've got these two pairs of related values, right? And so now I'm going to set up my ratio. So this time I'm going to just say, hey, I'm going to put A over 10 for this pair is equal to 4 over 1. Okay? And then I'm going to cross multiply, and what do I get? I get A, right? 1 times A is equal to 4 times 10. So I get 40 apples. So that's it. And by the way, that makes sense because if it costs $2.50, right, to purchase 10 apples, well, if I want to purchase 40 apples, I'm going to need 4 times that amount, which gives me 10. So it makes sense. Works out. Okay. Have a great day. See you next time.